Welcome back to FTBL Culture. It's your boy CultureCams, and this week has been absolutely dominated by manager talk. We saw the explosiveness of Conte, we saw Big Pat get the sack, and we saw Company actually come out and defend him. So I want to get into all of that, and I want to talk about manager discourse in 2023. I think it's going wild. I think it's going crazy. So let's get into this. So we've seen Conte go absolutely crazy. And listen, if you're a Conte hater, you are loving everything you're seeing right now because you probably predicted this. We know Conte likes is volatile. He likes to beef his owners. If he doesn't have everything he wants, some will say he throws his toys out the pram. So that's one side. But then there's another side of people who would say what Conte said is right. Everything that he said about Spurs, which is basically the history of the Tottenham. That's basically what he said in a long form, in a dissertation form. Chiellini, shout out you because you just said it in a couple words and you got up out of there and you're famous for it forever. But Conte, what he did say was that Spurs for the last 20 years have been losers. And what is going to change if you continuously change managers? And I felt that one because I felt the same when I was looking at Crystal Palace and I was looking at the Vieira situation. And I do understand that Crystal Palace had not had any wins in 2023. But when you look at some of the players that are on the pitch, not doing their job, not delivering to the highest standard, you're in the Premier League, the strikers with 2 goals, the strikers with 1 goal. Zaha out all season, well, not all season, but for a couple months. How is the manager meant to get a result? How is he meant to win games with these type of players? And that's why I fully agree with what Conte was trying to say. Because yes, Harry Kane is doing his job this season, but this is probably the biggest one-man carry job. The fact that they are in a top 4 battle is purely down to Harry Kane. 21 league goals. We know he's doing his thing. But you look at Son, absolutely underwhelming this season, who was firing under Conte last season. So can we say the manager has changed anything for him? I don't think so. Kulusevski out injured. Bentancur, injured. Basuma, injured. Richarlison, you have 0 goals. You have 0 goals. I mean, like, at what point are we going to speak about players? I've really felt Conte on that one because I feel like just even if it's credit and even if it's negative, I feel like 90% of the time, football discourse has become just talks about managers. After the game, a team can win 5-0. Wow, what a masterclass from Ten Hag. What a masterclass from Arteta, from Xavi. It feels like the players are now becoming the afterthought. You know, we're not thinking about the amazing individualism that we're potentially seeing. We're not talking about the individual quality that we are seeing on the pitch. We are just walking away talking about systems, the coaching, and probably whatever the coach says in the presser. For me, I think the game is going in a weird direction. And we all know, listen, tactics is way more prominent than it was back in the day, let's say 10, 15 years ago. I would say players had more onus to find solutions on the pitch than they do now. You know, now it's very structured. You go there, you make this movement, you do this, red zones, all of these type of things. They have all the information to go out and do what they need to do. They used to say the captain's the manager on the pitch. I don't actually think that anymore. I don't want to be nostalgic, but you look at Roy Keane's, you look at Vieira's, you look at these type of players. I think Jordan Henderson's actually a good example of somebody that's a manager on the pitch. Sometimes when it's going wrong, you do this, you do this, you do this. This is what we're going to do to win the game. Now, you're starting to see a mad increase of team huddles. The coach is telling them every single thing. We see it all the time now. I think that might be the Pep effect, but I ain't going to go into that too much. But I think it is a situation where the game is now becoming a little bit too system focused and a little bit too manager focused. And what I want to go into to kind of highlight that is right now, who would you say is the Ballon d'Or leader? Like, I feel like we've taken our eyes off individuals. Haaland, 42 goals. But what's the talk after Haaland scores 42 goals? But does he fit the Pep system? And if we pull him out here, and can he drop deep? And he's got 42 goals. He's about to score 60. He's about to break the record. But all the talk is about how does he fit into a manager's style. I'm telling you now, if Haaland was playing 10 years ago, scored 42 goals, you wouldn't hear about no manager style. You wouldn't hear about no system. You would just appreciate this guy as an absolute ruthless goal scorer. Haaland scored 5 goals. We all know about that 5-goal thriller. And people are talking about the way it looked. Now look, everyone knows I like the aesthetics. You know, I'm more of a feeling type of guy. But if you can score 5 goals and we're walking away talking about the masterclass of Pep, but I don't like what Haaland was doing. It wasn't pretty. And then everyone's reposting Messi's 5. We're going away from what football should be, about the players. Erling Haaland, you know, he's probably somebody that will probably be in the Ballon d'Or discussion. But at the same time, people are saying he's not even the player of the year in the league. So who have we got there? We got Saka, I think he's having a fantastic season. Odegaard, I think he's having a good season. You move away from the Premier League, you got Osimhen, of course, the guy's doing bits, he's doing bits. You've got Kvara. You could probably say Vinny, maybe? You can probably say Vinny. But other than that, I feel there's a real lack of appreciation for individuals. Like, I've just mentioned a few names. And who there would you say is actually having an outstanding season to the level that they should win a Ballon d'Or? So, of course, you know, the Mbappes, the Neymars, the guys that you would expect in the Ballon d'Or conversation, the Messi, who might still be in it because of the World Cup. Those type of guys, maybe they fade in a way. You know, they haven't had their season, knocked out of the Champions League. So there's other guys that are going to have to come and basically grasp that. But you look at Saka, you look at Odegaard, you look at these names that I'm mentioning. Are they getting overcrowded by the manager? Or by the manager's system? By what you kind of say is coaching? Saka's having a great individual year. Odegaard's having a great individual year. Osimhen, Kvara. But when you talk about these players, Spalletti, Arteta, you don't really get the opportunity to appreciate these guys as individuals. And you look at them, I wouldn't want to say any of them are system players or projects of the system, but they often can't get spoken about without mentioning the system. And I think it's a similar case to, let's say, Mo Salah or Mane, or whenever they were going for their Ballon d'Ors. Everyone will talk about the Klopp system, me being one of them. But I've got a new mindset on the game now. I've changed. I've seen the game differently. I've seen the light. But when you go back to Ronaldo, to Messi, to Kaká, Ronaldinho, now, okay, I'm mentioning otherworldly talents, but I didn't really used to hear the Fergie system. I didn't used to hear about the Ancelotti system for Kaká. You don't really hear these things. And I think this is just my issue nowadays. I don't think managers should just be getting sacked the way they do. If your striker is giving you 2 goals, if your winger is giving you 1 goal, how is a manager meant to do anything? But at the same time, I think when it's going really well, we just have to put the focus on players as well. So my question to you guys is, do you ever see the game going back to the point where individuals or players are at the forefront? Because let's be honest, it really is the manager's game at the moment. You know, the tactics, the systems, the coaching. Nowadays, people know about medical staff. They know about directors of football. They know about who's negotiating. It's so rarely talked about the players. And I think there's only one manager, I would say, maybe 1, 2, 3, there might be out there, who still has the individuals at the forefront. And that's Carlo Ancelotti. Now, a lot of people say he's not a tactician. He's got no tactics. He has got tactics. He understands what to do. You know, I saw people talking about, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, but all he's doing is pumping it over the top to Trent. That's a tactic. My best player is on the left-hand side. Your weakest link is on your right-hand side. I'm going to target it. Like, why do I need to do triangles, diagrams, and this, and this, and this, and this, just to win a game sometimes? And I'm not trying to sound like, you know, Alan Brazil, where it's like, hey, just get the ball, pump it up there, and then you win the game. I'm not trying to sound like that, but all I'm saying is, I do think sometimes we're overcomplicating the game. But do you guys ever see the game going back to the position where, you know, yeah, as I mentioned, players are at the forefront and managers are probably more so a little bit in the background? I don't know. It's a discussion I've had with production quite a lot. I would love to see it, because I think one thing that we often do now is we say there's no quality players, there's no this, there's no that. I am of agreement that probably the average player has level of technical ability has improved. Maybe the upper echelon of player isn't to the standard it was in the past. Are we not being able to enjoy these guys enough because of the systems? That is basically my question. So do you guys ever see the game going back to what it used to be? Or do you enjoy how it is now? Are you guys loving getting the graphs out? Right now, I'm looking at a graph of passes received. I'm looking at these madness. Everything is graphs, data. Listen, it's so much. Make sure you drop a comment. Let me know. Are systems taking over the game? Are managers becoming too famous? Do players need to rise a bit more? So guys, that was another episode. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn your notifications on. But that's me, I'm CultureCams, and I'm out.